here this morning. Here goes. Good morning, and we're live, I'm glad to say. So let's have a look at Friday's outlook for the 12th of November. Starting off, let's just have a look at the risk elements that are coming towards us today. There's not a great deal of them. They're all this afternoon, by looks of things. We have got an FOMC speaker at 10 past 5. I believe there's some other speakers. I've read somewhere else earlier there were some other speakers, and I'm sure, and there were other speakers yesterday, and they may just come through, so we may see some more coming through. So just be wary this afternoon for Fed speakers, those that are current voting members and not, but they can still have a bit of an influence on what's happening. So there we go. The Treasury currency report, I'm not going to be worried about too much about that. It's tentative anyway. There's the main things. It's mainly this afternoon. We've got a free morning with no news, and we've already seen, well, not very much moving today, which is fortunate as a start of a movement. Let's go through these. Looking at the euro, so the euro continued, slowed up yesterday. It was no surprise after that big day on Wednesday. Today, well, there's no divergences here. It almost carried on sliding down here. I mean, it may be showing some divergence on the RSI here, but there's no real retrace between anything, so to call it a divergence, but there we are. Anyway, it's pushing itself up at the moment, the euro, and well, daily pivot above. Can we get bullish on this? Well, yesterday we saw this happen for most of the day, and we'll see how it reacts here. At the moment, realistically with the euro, I'm quite bearish with it. Everything's pointing southbound. Whether we get a little bit more of a bounce on the Friday, well, that's what we have to wait. If it starts coming off this daily pivot in 34, well, maybe there's a short opportunity. I think it could be quite thin, this market today. Just as we saw yesterday, there'll be those that are pinning the bank holiday onto today and taking today off and making it a very long weekend, so just be wary. The pound, well, the pound is skirting up a little bit here again, shorter day yesterday, momentum dropping out of that big sell-off point. We're seeing a bit of a bounce at this stage here, and got some potential for a continuation as well on this, but it is running into its 34 at the moment. This might just stall it post 8 o'clock. That could roll over, so we'll have to wait and see on this. A push up, well, may run into the 50, and it may give opportunities there. Again, looking at this picture, it's quite a bearish market, and this is certainly a bearish market looking as you go up the time frame. So bearish markets, they remain. Dollar yen, again, slow down yesterday, small bar, no US real session coming through there, of course, Armistice Day and the Veterans Day and everything else. That sort of lack of volumes coming through the markets. The yen is recovering slightly here again. We're seeing it through all the markets at the moment. Just a little bit of a and take some breath. The yen's sitting around this sort of 114.30 area, which is quite key. It's pipped up above it a few times into a little bit higher, and I guess the main resistance point at the moment there is 114.43. But just see how this develops. It's still, well, I don't know. So I'm just saying still has, and then realise it has been here. Has got the daily pivot still below. Has got a little lower high. It's quite a big bearish engulfing bar there. We could see a bit more follow through on this. So just to be aware of that. Difficult to pinpoint sort of entries or whatever else on this. If it starts, well, comes back to, I would like it to come back more to, I mean, it's back to its support levels here if I was looking for it, but it's already broken those. But maybe the 50, something a little bit more to, if I'm looking to sell into these. It's a bit like the euro and the pound. They really need a bit more of a retrace if you're going to be looking to sell into them to get a bit more value out of them. Oops, and press the Canadian dollar. I'll do the Canadian dollar. Same old picture here with the Canadian dollar. Yesterday, though, it did carry on quite strongly. Big bullish engulfing day there on Wednesday, Thursday following through, And well, has it got some more in the in the pipes? We'll see. But at the moment, almost fractionally divergence here, not quite on RSI. Again, though, it just might have a little bit more downside there. It's sort of certainly got divergence across the hourlies here, and the daily pivot untouched. So again, for me, it'd be worth being patient. If you were looking on the long side, I prefer the short side on Canadian dollar, but not from here, to be quite honest. I'm waiting for a bigger, clearer correction to the downside to get in there. A lower high on the 4 hourly would be more ideal to me, because it's got plenty of scope if you can get into it and it starts moving. Aussie dollar, I missed that a moment ago. Well, that again continuing through. Yesterday still had quite a down day, but most of that was early-ish. But still, actually, say most of it was early-ish. It was actually a bit later than I expected there. Anyway, still hanging, running down. Same sort of picture, a little bit of a divergence, sort of sitting here on the 4 hourlies. Already back to its daily pivot. Again, for me, if I was looking to short this, I would want it to come back maybe to that 50, maybe even a little bit more, but just would be a bit more patient. The daily pivot may be as far as it's going to get, but I need something. I want a bit more value in selling some of these markets, and if it means I have to wait, I'll wait. Okay, there we go. Other cross pairs we saw the euro quite strong against the cross pairs yesterday at times. We're seeing very little movement actually. We've seen a decent sell-off in this current hour, and that's about it. So here we go. It's just running through as it is. Sorry, I just need to check something elsewhere. Okay, so we've got 2 minutes to go. So right, I was looking at something this morning, and I just wanted to keep an eye on it, and I will press that order for the roomies. I am pressing the order from here, so a bit risky, but I've placed it ready because I've got a minute to go. Right, okay, so sorry, it's not in the euro yen, but we've got an order that I've just placed. Right, okay, euro pound. Let's have a look. Why am I going through the euro pound? It's choppy as anything. Right, enough of this. Sorry, I was just looking at euro yen and starting running through all the currencies. Right, let's look at gold. Commodities here. Commodities, well, gold yesterday, no surprise yesterday, a chop vest all the way through, not really doing too much. At the moment, to me, it just looks like it's softening. May have a bit more of a retracement coming on here again. Again, if I wanted to be long on this, I'd want some value. So just waiting for a bit more of a retracement. So as I say, want value out of it, and it's not really there where it is at the moment. Maybe back to the 34 would be a better place for me to be looking at. Actually, we were talking about in the training room yesterday, and I hope Maverick doesn't mind, but we were looking at this sort of, he was looking at this sort of area, funny enough, and it does look like a reasonable point. Just be wary as it gets down towards that level. It will be putting a lower high in, so just tread carefully. But that's what I'm looking for on the gold. A bit more of a retracement. As I say, when you trade like this, you want a bit of value. You don't want just to pick up the coat at the very ends of things. Western Texas oil. I think oil's now sort of on that slippery slope. I've been wanting to be slippery sloping it down. It might be closing in there. A consolidated day yesterday, if I can only say that, and it does get the feeling. There we go. It's sort of, this consolidation is around a point of low. Now, of course, we didn't have much of a market open yesterday, and it's sort of danced all over the place. It did actually get a rally there at 2 o'clock, and then 3 just rolled straight back. So just wary of what's going on here. But OPEC talking yesterday a little bit. There was some speakers anyway, and the Iraqi speaker coming out yesterday. well after the move. Actually, the move happened first, then the speak, and then all of a sudden it sold off. So you do reckon if someone placed some orders before the news was released. Anyway, to me, looking a tad on the softer side here. Right, okay, let's go and have a quick look. We're going to look at cryptos first because I know it's already set up. What's happened yesterday with the strong dollar just held on to things, and we are still dollar dependent on these cryptos, and you see the dollar's gaining strength, and you see that you're seeing Bitcoin coming off and vice versa. So Ethereum yesterday though did manage to put in a more bullish day. As I said, to me it's still the better one of the two in terms of probably value and every potential, but it does need a decent retrace. Again, if I was looking to buy this, it's just not from here. It's already gone effectively and going, and it may just keep on going. It's looking like it's just keep on going at the moment. So a continuation expected there. Ripple. Again, managed a little bit of update, but consolidating where it's sitting at the moment. And these may just be their new consolidation phases that we're seeing through these. If they hold on, it just may. We saw this sort of long consolidation phase here. It may just be stepping up and doing another version here. But for Bitcoin to be really more expecting more selling, I'd expect it below this, back below the 60,000, below the 59.92. Well, I've got a sitting there. If it starts breaking those lows, I would be a little bit more bearish on it and expecting it to pull back more, perhaps some previous support. But for now, maybe a consolidation phase. Right, let's switch over to indices and just have a quick look what's happened through the Asian session. Well, bit of a down day there for this CSI 300, so I'm still quite bearish on these, but the Nikkei's pushed up again and looking much more positive than the CSI for sure, pushing up there solidly at this stage. A little gap below in between. Bullishness there. Now we're going to see the opposite in the FTSE. No, the FTSE's kicked off again this morning into new near-term highs, and off it goes, which is normally meaning that the pound's possibly going to be selling. We'll see. We'll see as the morning starts. It may just go from an early point and sell off. But DAX already made a new high there, but sold off since its high, and the CAC there, well, that's pushing up again. It's a sort of after the FTSE, the CAC seems to be a sort of the stronger market there. But again, buying up here, selling here, I don't want to do either. They're just non-tradable to me where they're sitting to try and get into anything. S&Ps, well, the S&Ps yesterday, obviously no cash market there, and the futures very small day. We'll have to wait and see what comes from this today. Again, I can't be bearish on where it is at the moment. It's a bit of a retrace that could shoot up in the day and make a new high. So I would be very wary of these American markets at this stage. I didn't look at the bonds this morning, the treasuries, beg your pardon. These are back up. This puts this is the driver behind the dollar effectively. When we're seeing these push up to these sort of levels, we generally see the dollar being bought, but coming off a little bit at the moment. If it starts coming off a bit more this morning, then perhaps we've got a chance for the dollar to sell a little bit. But there we go. Okay, that's pretty much it for me. As I said, it remains a bit of a waiting game. There are some short-term opportunities out there. We've got one sitting there waiting to go if it goes. But that's it. I wish you a great day's trading, and I will speak to you on Monday. Have a great weekend all. Bye for now. Right, there we go.